Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday. It's February 20, 2021. As always, I say there is no better way to start the day than to start it with God. No, of course, there is no better way to end the day than to end it with God. We get to also manage everything in between. And there's no better place to begin the day than in the presence of the Lord. Our readings for today is Proverbs chapter 20 and First Chronicles chapter 6 until 10. Now, when we read the book of Chronicles, these are just a chronicle of, of the journey of Israel. You know, how many of them have grown, how they have multiplied, how they have been empowered by the Lord, how they failed along the way, how they stumbled and fall along the way, and how the Lord has enabled them to stand back up again. Um, the Chronicles would also tell us about the life of kings, the battles that they won, the battles that they failed to win. The attitudes, the character that they had, which influence their success and their failure. Today, I'd like to go direct to our words for the day. I only have three verses that I'd like to talk about today. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 3. Um, the Bible tells us, Solomon is reminding us, God is teaching us. Proverbs 20 verse 3, avoiding a fight is a mark of honor. Only fools insist on quarreling. Proverbs 20 verse 22, don't say, I will get even for this wrong. Wait for the Lord to handle the matter. Proverbs 20 verse 9, who can say, I have cleansed my heart. I am pure and free from sin. This morning, I'd like to talk about choosing your battles. They have said, you know, choosing your battles means like to be selective with the problems, selective of the arguments, and the confrontations that you get involved in. Now, instead of fighting every problem, you save your time only for the things that matter. This means fighting the most important battles and letting go of the rest. Every day we have to choose our battles. But sometimes others would say, yeah, choose your battles, but don't choose too many. Yeah, we choose our battles, but we choose too many. It's still the same. Choose your battles. Confront things that really matter. So you have to decide. We'll talk about that today. Um, Joy Bell says, choose your battle wisely. After all, life isn't measured by how many times you stood up to fight. It's not winning battles that makes you happy, but it's how many times you turned away and chose to look into a better direction. Life is too short to spend it on worrying. Fight only the most important ones and let the rest go. We have a lot of quotes about choosing your battles. No, some says, pick your battles. You don't have to show up to every argument you're invited to. Pick your battles. You don't have to show up to every argument you're invited to. Another, pick your battles. Not everything is worth flipping over. Sometimes we flip out with battles that are not really worth fighting for. So not everything is worth flipping over. Um, Again, like what I have said, choose your battles, but don't choose very many. Be selective in your battles, for sometimes peace is better than being right. Again, be selective in your battles, for sometimes peace is better than being right. Pick your battles. You only have so much emotional energy each day. You'd spend all your emotions on things, no, that does not really matter. And Mona said, when you understand the power of praise, you cannot waste precious time on cursing the enemy, but rather be steadfast in praising God for the guaranteed victories. After all, there is no essence in fighting battles that are already won. Sometimes we fight the battles that have already been won. The Lord has already won the fight, and then you still choose to fight it. So you're just wasting some energy. Another, it's strange, but once you learn to fight, you seem to attract enemies. Sooner or later, those who master the art of combat must end up fighting. So when you're always preparing for war, eventually you'll have your war. And so instead of learning to fight and you instead of mastering the art of combat, you mastered the art of developing a culture of peace, a personal culture of peace, and how to arrive at peace, even in ourselves and with the people around us. So this morning, let's face it, conflict is a part of relationship. It is impossible for two imperfect individuals to form a perfect relationship. That is why they have this what they call as four four types of relationship depending on trust and agreement. When trust is high, agreement is high, you call that relationship as allies. No, you're ally because you trust each other, you agree. No, high agreement, high trust. But when trust is low and agreement is low, you call that as enemies. You don't trust each other and you don't agree, so you're enemies. But sometimes trust is high, but agreement is low. No, we call that as adversarial. And that's better than this last one. Trust is low, agreement is high. We call this as bedfellows. Now, the kind of relationship that you see sometimes at the vendors association. They agree with so many things, but then they don't trust each other because everyone is a competitor. And so there is always this possibility for quarrel. But like what Solomon is telling us, you don't have to fight every battle. You have to choose. Sometimes avoiding a fight is a mark of honor, according to Solomon. Only fools insist on quarreling. And he said, even don't say, I will get even for this wrong. Wait for the Lord to handle the matter. Even Apostle Paul was reminding everyone, no? Um, Vengeance is of the Lord. Don't put the law on your hand. Let God do his work. And so judging is the Lord's work. And so again, conflict is a part of relationship, even good ones. But conflict with the people we love is often the hardest to deal with, especially when emotions are running high. It's okay to have quarrels at times with other people, but then when you have quarrels with the person that you love, oh no, it's the hardest to deal. Why? Because these people are important to you. And it's hard to deal when emotions are running high. So there may not be a perfect way to argue, but there are definitely some ways of fighting better than others. At times, the best way to fight may be not to fight at all. So Jacqueline Whitmore, because I'm reading her article, He's the he's an etiquette expert and founder of the Protocol School of Palm Beach. She said healthy relationship hinges on a couple's ability to know which issues are worth fighting over and which ones are worth letting go. So you hardly have to think and think every day. There are issues that are worth fighting for, but there are also issues that you have to let go. You don't have to fight every issue. Um, in other words, you have to gotta know. You have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. There are things that you need to hold on, and there are things you need to fold and put it aside. Knowing how to pick your battle is a skill worth mastering. So there are like about 15 tips. Um, Solomon has already given us three for today. But then there are others practical steps that we can do so that we can always uh, expend our energy on things that are really uh, worth fighting for, things that really matters. So I'll begin with the first because these are like 15 and and I'd like to talk also about what are the battles that are worth fighting for. So that we'll have an idea. There are 15 ways and there are 8 battles that are worth fighting for. So let's begin with this number one. Only fight about issues that are truly important. And so only fight about issues that are truly important. So you have to decide what is important and what is not. Evaluate the consequence of an argument. No? This kind of issue, will I care about this tomorrow? They have said, don't argue for the sake of arguing. Second, make a plan. Take a moment to calm down and think through the problem. I have to plan. And I have to even prepare how I would respond instead of being so spontaneous. Sometimes problems in the relationship comes out because we become so spontaneous and we have not planned for it. And so when we're there already and we're emotionally charged, oh no, you get out of control. And instead of arriving to peace, you separate with your disagreements. And it's not good, right? Third, another when you make a plan is think through the problem. Don't attack your partner. Convey your frustration, of course, and support your logical argument with facts and examples. Third, pause for the cause. Review your motivation. Why would you want a discussion? Ask yourself, is this the real problem? Is this really the problem, or is something else bothering me? If you're stressed out about work or finances, you may be more irritable than usual. So don't enter into an argument when you're stressed at work. Yeah, instead of solving the problem, you'd make it worse. Fourth, don't react immediately. Walk away from situation for a few minutes. Calm down and then consider what an argument will accomplish. If you choose to fight every battle, you'd you'll be seen as stubborn or argumentative. This person is quarrelsome. This person is argumentative because he always want to quarrel. So don't react immediately. Choose the right time. Fifth, choose the right time. Fighting with people that are close to you in public will rarely have a positive outcome. So there is a time and a place. Find a quiet place to vent out your frustrations in private so you can have an honest conversation without outside pressure. Because when you quarrel and a lot of people are watching, oh no, you'd get, your ego would come in and then your fight not because of the issue, but you'd want people to see that you won the argument. Of course, sometimes you win the argument, but you lose the person. What's the purpose of the discussion? I'd rather lose the argument and win the person than win the argument and lose the person. And agree to disagree, they have said. Number seven. Sometimes compromises seem impossible. Stay positive and diffuse the situation with humor whenever possible. Eight, communicate. Don't assume your partner knows what you're feeling. Sometimes in a quarrel, we expect the other person to know what we're thinking, to feel what we're feeling. No? And then when they don't, we get all the more upset. So communicate. Be specific about what upsets you. Meet each other halfway and try to find a compromise. No, I feel this way because da 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 da. Solve the problem together. View your partner as your teammate. Sometimes people would quarrel because they don't have money. But for some people, whenever they don't have money, they team up. Their lack of money would cause them to be more intimate and be more closer with each other because they would team up to solve that problem together of having lack of money. Sometimes we allow the problem to stand in the way instead of allowing the problem to cause us to be drawn together so that we can handle it together. Two are always better than one. Look in the mirror. Never minimize or cover up your mistakes. Most times, both parties contribute to the problem. Take responsibility for your part. Acknowledge your errors and work toward a compromise. Stay calm. Not easy when you're with your loved one, with your people that are important to you. It's very difficult to stay calm. Uh, Difficult to have a very respectful conversation when you're hurt. If the situation becomes too tense, take a break, leave, don't stay. Yeah, it's better to step away than it is to let the argument escalate. So run away. It's not cowardice to run away from trouble. Yeah, especially when you feel that it's escalating. Preempt the problem. A little prevention goes a long way. And so, and there are like three or four more. No, 13. Discuss your issue in person. 14. Choose your words carefully. It's easier said than done. But when we pick a fight and we are standing on a soft ground, uh, it's difficult to choose our words carefully. It's difficult to listen attentively and speak respectfully. So, yeah, we have to watch what we say and how we say it. Once our words leave our mouth, we can never take them back. And so, and of course, the most important is seek help when necessary. Sometimes there are battles that you cannot win together. You have to look for someone, you have to ask for someone to help you. Yeah. And but then Solomon again is reminding us, Proverbs 20 verse 3, avoiding a fight is a mark of honor. Only fools insist on quarreling. Proverbs 20 verse 22, don't say I will get even for this wrong. Wait for the Lord to handle the matter. So go to the Lord. Uh, when it's difficult for both of you or for the community, for the family to handle it, run to the Lord. Let's give a margin of error for people. Sometimes we're just so rigid. No, we're so rigid. That we don't have a clearance. We don't have a margin for error. That is why people have to grow in love and in grace so that they can have a margin of error. Solomon said, like what we have read, who can say, I have cleansed my heart, that I am pure and free from sin? And so, um, everyone. I had an argument with Ma'am Cha yesterday. This is very timely na. I have an argument with Ma'am Cha. And it's all about, the issue was all about honesty. Yeah. We need to always, if we'd like to deal with honesty, we also have to be ready, to handle honesty. Sometimes we want people around us to be honest, but we cannot handle the truth. When they become honest, oh, we're broken. So people, because they're afraid of the consequence of being honest, so they will choose to lie. One fact of life is uh, 75% of people, 70 out of 100, 75% would most of the time speak the truth. Yeah, so people are generally good. There's 75% that usually speaks the truth. But then there are 25 that usually and oftentimes would speak a lie. So there are 25. If you happen to marry a person that is in the 20, in the other side of the fence. He belongs to the 25. Life would be difficult for you. But then, all the 100s, usually, every person, regardless of where he is at, would lie at least twice a day. So there's no one that is really true and perfectly honest. That is why couples have to grow in love, have to grow in grace, so that they can handle the truth. When they're confronted by the truth, they can still continue to love amidst, imperfections. And so, 8 things that are worth fighting for. Hmm. Are you ready for this? This is written by Mark, Chernoff, and I'd like to give credit to him. Um, because not everything in life is worth fighting for. There are things in life that are, and that is worth fighting for. So if you choose your battle, choose these things. One is, number one is personal greatness. Yeah, personal greatness. That's a battle worth fighting for. To become the kind of person that God would want you to become. Yeah. To become the showcase that God would want you to become. That's a worth fighting for. You have your goals, you have your dreams, you know, goals and worthy goals and worthy dreams are um, things that requires effort and sacrifice. And if you're not ready to fight battles, you cannot achieve greatness, for the glory of God. There are they have, he said that there are no esteemed ventures worth participating in that don't require some level of effort and struggle. You want to break through in life. You want to achieve something in life. You have to be ready to fight. Fight for your dreams. Fight for the goals that God has set in your heart. Fight for your vision. God puts a vision in our hearts. Sometimes we complain why they cannot see. Yeah, some people cannot see your vision because it's not theirs. It's your vision. It's not given to them, it's given to you. So it's only you who can truly see that. And if you're not ready to fight for that, people won't care about that. But then when they see you ready to fight for the vision, for the dreams, for the goals that God has placed in your heart, then they would see, whoa. Second, this is very important, honesty and truth. According to Mark, these are battles that are worth fighting for. Us becoming more honest, us becoming more aligned to truth. These are issues, that we confront each day, honest with our feelings. But like again, like what I have said, most of the time, people with low self-esteem, people with this experience of growing up in a very restrictive family, very rigid, they often are very vulnerable to dishonesty. When a kid would grow in a family and you'd always, correct, oh, you're wrong. Oh, sayop na put. So, mukinto siya kanunay. And then when he commits mistakes, he would, you know, be afraid to accept it. And so in the house, no, let's give our children uh, a clearance, a space, a margin for committing errors until eventually they be safe to tell the truth. Because sometimes we don't tell the truth because we feel we are not safe with the person to whom the truth is revealed. But when we are safe, now we are loved regardless. Like why can we confess to God? Why it's easy? Because God does not respond. When you talk to the Lord, Lord, I'm so sorry, Lord. I did it again. And the Lord would not say, oh, you fool. Ano sa mga bunalan ng pagkanakoron. God would not say that to you. He just listen and assure you that you are loved regardless. And so fight for that in the family. Um, a mind free of envy and jealousy. This is a battle that we really have to fight for. Sometimes we get envious, sometimes we get jealous. When the people around us would prosper, we feel bad. When the person around us they're happy, we feel bad. And you have to fight that battle. That's worth fighting for. Lord, grant me peace in my heart, that envy and jealousy would not have, room um, in my thoughts, in my mind, in my being. A mind free of jealousy and envy, positive change. These are worth fighting for, to become a better version of ourselves, better than yesterday, better than yesterday. These are battles that are worth fighting for. I want to become a better version of myself today, tomorrow, and in the coming days. No positive change in life. I have to let go of something, and if I have to fight for that, so that I can let go, then I have to. Another battle that is worth fighting for, a willingness to learn from mistakes. Sometimes we're not willing to learn from our mistakes. In life, sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. There is no such thing as losing in life when you learn it. It becomes a necessary evil. Ano that? It becomes a necessary experience for you to become wiser. So learn. Be willing to learn from our mistakes. Persistence and patience. These are the areas that are worth fighting for. I have to persist. I have to be patient. Before you give up, think about how unfortunate it would be if the results you have worked to achieve require just a tiny dose of additional effort. They have said, don't quit until your miracle happens. Sometimes we quit 5 minutes before our miracle arrives. And so, oh no, what an unfortunate event. So, rest and when you are tired, but don't quit. You never know what's just around the corner. So these are worth fighting for. I have to persist. I have to be determined. I have to just keep on going. Dory said to Marlene, keep on swimming. Keep on swimming. Soon you'll find Nemo. There's another very, very important like element that is really worth fighting for. True love. True love. Yeah. There is no soulmate out there who will solve all your problems. There is no love at first sight that lasts without work and commitment. But there is someone out there worth fighting for. Not because they're perfect, but because they're imperfect in all the ways that are right for you. They're worth fighting for because they're imperfect in so many ways that are right for you. Yeah, I have to win this person. I have to bring out the best out of this person because I love him. I love her. So it's worth fighting for. Not because they're perfect. Sometimes we fight for the relationship because we expect the other person to be perfect. But the reason why you fight for the relationship is because there is still a lot of things that needs to be worked out in the life of this person. And because we love them, we would walk along with them. We embrace their imperfections. Like our kids ba? We love our kids. What if every time they commit mistakes, we'd quarrel with them and would show them away? They would not become. Instead, we would have children that are beset with anxiety and depression. Have you seen children that grow up in a family that is so restricted, that is so rigid? Oh, they'd always be anxious. Like a ring in their phone would cause them to panic because they're afraid of the consequence that mama will get angry or papa will get angry. Can you imagine that? And so, fight for your true love and then fight for goodwill. Goodwill is worth fighting for. There is no greatness or peace of mind where there is, of course, betrayal of your own goodwill. Always aim to complete sincerity of your thoughts, words, and deeds If it is wrong, don't do it. If it is untrue, don't repeat it. Show goodwill every day. Um, do what you do because you believe it's the right thing to do. Do the right thing even when nobody is looking. These are counsels that God is leaving us today. So again, everyone, avoiding a fight is a mark of honor. Only fools insist on quarreling. But when we have to fight, we have to choose our battles. Don't approach a situation that I will get even for this wrong. Only fools. No? Wait for the Lord to handle the matter. Always involve God in whatever discussions that we are in. And then come from a point of view that people are people, imperfect in so many ways. Love them together with their imperfections. Sometimes, we only love the good in the people and we cannot embrace the bad in them. But life is always the yin and the yang. The yin yang, like it's the 69. You have to embrace the good as well as the bad, the totality, the package. You have to love it. You cannot just choose and then quarrel the rest. We will not live in peace when we do that. So again, this morning, pick your battles. Not everything is worth flipping over. Choose your battles, but don't choose very many. Be selective in your battles, for sometimes peace is better than being right. Pick your battles. You only have so much emotional energy each day. Let's pray, everyone, and just thank the Lord today. Our dear Father in heaven, dear Lord, thank you so much again, God, for reminding us today that how the the value of living in peace and harmony, especially with people that are dear to us. Help us indeed, O God, to be mindful and careful each day, even today, to choose our battles. Not every battle is worth fighting for, especially those that have already been won. You have already won a lot of battles for us, O God, as you fought for our battles. Help us to discern each day, O Lord. Help us even to discern things that we can change and discern change the things that we cannot. Help us to be reminded each day of the serenity prayer. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom and the discernment to know the difference. Dear Lord, today we continue to lift up to you our president and everyone that works with him. We continue to lift up to you our frontliners and health workers, O Lord, that are exposed every day to risk. We continue to lift up to you our police force, dear Lord, that serves us and protects us. Bless their family as well. We continue to lift up to you our entrepreneurs and business people, O Lord. Grant them the persistence and the perseverance. Like business is not doing well this time, dear Lord, for many. And help our entrepreneurs, O God, to thrive, flourish, and prosper so that they can provide employment for many and our economy would be well again. The Lord, likewise, our family and everyone that is dear to us, afford us with safety and protection today. Grant us good health today, O Lord. Surround us with that hedge of protection that comes from you, that only you can provide. You're always our Jehovah Jireh. You're always our rock and our fortress, O Lord. When we have problems, we can run to you and be safe. Thank you for this morning, as always. All for your glory, God. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Good morning.